You can help WMNF now and into the future by donating gifts of stock, real estate, retirement assets, or a life insurance policy. It's easy to leave a legacy of love. Just call 813-238-8001 or go to WMNF.org/plannedgiving to get started today.
Your stocks can do more than grow wealth. At WMNF, they grow community. Donate appreciated stocks and transform investment gains into the soundtrack of independent radio. Make your money matter by speaking with your broker today.
Welcome to Live Music Showcase here on 88.5 WMNF Tampa. I'm your host, Ken Apperson, and we are in studio with the hometown heroes themselves. Have Gun Will Travel. How y'all doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having us, buddy.
They're going to play some music. We are going to listen and enjoy it. That's really all it comes down to today. Cool. Very excited. What's your first song called?
It's called Fair Weather, and this is a song that was originally on our Fiction Fact or Folktale record in 2013. Quick backstory: the analog tape machine that we used to record that record has been out of commission since then. We recently got it back up and running, and the first reel that's got pulled up and put on to the machine happened to be the session when we recorded this song Fairweather, and there were two other alternate takes that we that we didn't use for the actual record version. So we took one of those other takes, and we had Sam add some drums to it, and we added some backup vocals and harmonies and stuff like that, and then we just kind of randomly put it out as a single. It's just Fairweather alternate take, and so it's just kind of been a fun song that has kind of like made a little bit of a resurgence here in the last couple months. So here we go. It's Fairweather.
Music Showcase. Have Gun Will Travel with us here in studio. You guys, you're one of the most beloved local I say local bands, and it always sounds a little derogatory, but the reality is like you're local, and yet you're you're nationally touring band. You've released multiple albums with great success around town and around the country. You have fan bases all over the country. You are, by all accounts, a success story in local music as far as I'm concerned, and I love getting to celebrate that by having you.
Thank you, man. That's nice to hear you say. Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, honestly, it had a lot to do with WMNF, like from like the very beginning. It was, you know what I mean, like WMNF kind of brought us in and really kind of gave us support and stuff like that. Yeah, when before Have Gun Will Travel was even a full band, and that, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of like, that's one of the things that really got our feet underneath us and got us kind of moving. So we've always been very appreciative of that.
Love that. So for anyone who doesn't know, who's never heard of Have Gun Will Travel before, they're obviously Americana rock group. They're from the Tampa Bay area. They've been recording music and performing for years now in the Tampa Bay area, and they truly have been a huge part of WMNF and the WMNF experience. If you listen to WMNF for any extended period of time throughout the week, chances are you'll probably hear one of their songs playing on one of the various shows here on WMNF 88.5. They have a show happening tomorrow night at Crowbar. Tickets are still available for that. I'll leave the link in our live stream, in the chat on the live stream, which is happening right now on Facebook and on YouTube. You can watch the live stream on either one of those platforms. On Facebook, you go to WMNF's Live Music Showcase, and on YouTube, you just go to WMNF Community Radio and you'll find us. So what's the next song going to be called?
All right, so we're just kind of still getting warmed up, so we're starting off a little mellow. We're going to do a song that was on our Science from an Easy Chair record, which, you were there for the...
yeah, I'm a little familiar with that
for
one.
The live recreation of that record. So we're going to do a song called Goodnight, Sweet Chariot.
I love it. Let's talk a little bit about that after this song.
Yeah, let's do it.
For sure.
Ready? Want to count it in?
Sure. 3, 4...
Good night, sweet chariot, good night. Oh, how the embers they cry. Good night, sweet chariot, good night. Oh, how the embers they cried all through the night.
sweet chariot, good night. Oh, how the emperors they cried all through the night. Sweet chariot, good night. Oh, how the emperors they cried all through the Good night, sweet chariot, good night. Oh, how the emperors they cry. Good night, sweet chariot, good night. Oh, how the emperors they cried all through the night.
Have Gun Will Travel here on Live Music Showcase. Good night, Sweet Chariot. Good night. That's the Endurance, I believe, correct? Yep, that was the Endurance on the Shackleton expedition that was supposed to be across Antarctica, and they got stuck in the ice, and ultimately the ship was swallowed by the ice. And if I'm not mistaken, that song is about the fact that that ship got swallowed by the ice.
Yeah, it is. So that's
That's
so the
the
record,
Sweet Chariot, so to speak.
Right, exactly. So that whole record is kind of like it's a concept record that follows the entire story of that expedition, and so that song is kind of like, the day that the ship went under.
So, for those of you who were lucky enough to get tickets to that show, it was a 2-day event. It was two years ago now, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, the tickets sold so fast for the one that you ended up adding the second day.
We added a second night, yeah.
And they were kind enough to ask me to essentially be the narrator, host, guy in the chair, so to speak, of the event. And
it was awesome. You did a great job, man.
Thank you.
That was really cool.
Well, I'll tell you, I was a little embarrassed after learning about this whole story because it was so interesting and captivating, and I thought that you guys did such an excellent job of passionately writing music about the way that those events transpired and just how, frankly, metal that entire situation was. And Good Night, Sweet Chariot is a great example of, one example of all of the music that you wrote for that album and that concept. And getting to experience it live and getting to my vantage point was from the stage, essentially watching people experience it. And I couldn't have asked for a better seat in the house, getting to watch people as they're like crying about this, connecting with these people from, over 100 years ago now.
Yeah, exactly.
And the plight and the perseverance that they all had.
Oh my God.
Because, the living conditions alone in that time of the world were abysmal at best.
Yeah, right.
They're on these ships. They had, I think one of the main things about this journey was that it was, I think, the first or one of the first expeditions that actually had video footage. They actually shot video,
right,
because it was a brand new technology at the time.
Yep.
And so you guys included some of that footage in your show. And
We actually had to, in order to get the rights to use the image that we used for the cover of the album, we had to kind of get in touch with the organization that kind of
the British Royal Historical Society.
Yeah,
British
Historical
Royal
Society, and they
yeah.
kind of, what I mean? So we tried to go through all the proper channels to kind of make sure that we were kind of respecting and honoring, the history of it.
I love that.
One other cool story about that song and the whole experience is that they've since found the ship. We put the album out 10 years ago, and they found the ship almost 2 years ago now, I think.
Yeah.
And we were in contact with the crew while they were looking for it. Matt was emailing back and forth with the guys.
Yeah, they ended up using the team that actually went down, and kind of the recovery team that went down and found the actual wreckage of the ship. asked if it was cool if they use, like, we have kind of an instrumental intro to that record. You know what I mean?
It's like the overture kind of.
Yeah, exactly. And they use like about 30 seconds of that for kind of a little commercial that they make, you know, a little kind of promo that they make.
Nice. Man, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Awesome.
That's amazing. Well, so for those of you listening at home, Science in an Easy Chair, you can listen to that on any streaming platform right now. And I think, do you guys still have vinyls for sale for that, or were those a limited?
We sold the last one about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
The absolute last one we had.
I had found one kind of left that was unopened and kind of still sealed, and we just sold that at a show a couple weeks ago.
I love that. That's okay. All right, well, let's keep going. I could talk about that show I could talk about that for hours. All right, so let's dive into your next song. What's the next one called?
So we're gonna do. We put out an EP, the first in 2 EPs, which is, we'll follow up with that here in a minute. But the first EP was called Silver Sounds. One of the songs off of it was called Melancholy Moon. We're gonna do that song right now. Goodbyes, 'cause everything dies. Now the moon is casting shadows in the valley tonight, down in the Garden of Eden. Hard to tell the difference between wrong and right. Think there's nothing left to believe. And the preacher's on the radio, he's coming undone, talking about eternal damnation. Devil selling dictionaries door to door. Looks like he could use a vacation. There's a melancholy moon on the right, and the bar is running out of supply. We should pay our tab and say our goodbyes, 'cause everything dies. Refrigerator's humming its relentless refrain. I'll take that over the silence. Sometimes I think I'd like to tear this place to the ground. I haven't got the stomach for violence. There's a melancholy moon on the rise, and the many bars low on supplies. We should wrap it up and say our goodbyes, 'cause everything dies.
There's a melancholy moon on the rise, and the mini bars low on supplies.
You got it.
I love that. That's a great line. That's a great rhyme. That's so good.
Thank you, buddy.
I mean, we talk about songwriting on the show a lot. I think. Hopefully not too much. Hope the listeners enjoy it. I certainly do. I'm being self-indulgent. But, the reality is there's a beautiful elegance that is kind of necessary when it comes to lyric writing, isn't there?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
There needs to be a nice balance between it being a little cerebral, makes you think, but not think too hard.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, it also kind of depends on what kind of song you're going for. A lot of times if you're doing... if you're going like narrative, then you can get as weird as you want, and it's all about kind of like the imagery and setting up, almost kind of like a cinematic type of thing where you're kind of creating the imagery. But when it's kind of a personal thing, you can get a little more abstract and kind of, you know what I mean? Like
totally
fucking get weird with it. Sorry, my bad.
There we go. Let's dump that. That's good. We caught it. We're good.
Sorry about that.
All good. That's always a good sign that the band is very comfortable.
Too comfortable.
Sam, I want to check in with you. How you doing in there, man? You doing okay?
I'm doing good.
All right. We have people in the live stream that are like, I see Sam. I hear Sam. And then we had Christopher James actually was like, Windows Sam hits different.
Nice. Chris.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. So what's the next song going to be? What do you guys want to hear?
All right. So we're going to
do
do one off of... our Strange Chemistry record. This is just kind of like one of my favorite songs of ours, actually, kind of all time. It's called Infinite Traveler. And this is one of those kind of more abstract ones. Can you tell
Have Gun Will Travel here on Live Music Showcase. I couldn't think of a better way to start the year off on this show than to have you guys on the show. And full disclosure to the listeners out there, this was not in the works months ago. We happened to be at the Caleb Caudle show 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that looks like the Burke brothers. I know those guys. Walked over, sauntered over with my Coca-Cola in hand and said some snarky remark about something. I don't remember what it was. And then we got to chatting, and I was like, man, we got to get you guys back on the show. They told me about the show on the 4th, and I was like, we have a show on the 3rd.
Yeah, dude.
Perfect. So I love that it worked out. I appreciate you guys.
Perfect, man. Thanks
making
again
time,
for inviting us, for sure.
making it work. So we're just past the halfway point of the show, which means that we have entered into AMA territory, Ask Musicians Anything territory. That's where you, the listeners and the viewers, can call in with any questions or comments that you might have for Have Gun Will Travel. I have a feeling the phone lines will be lighting up. They generally do anytime we have a band that is remotely good on the show. So I hope they don't melt. We'll put it that way.
Awesome.
You can call in right now with
bring it
your
on.
questions or comments. 813-239-9663. That number again is 813-239-9663. Our board op, Charlie, will take your calls, your questions, your comments. He'll send them over to me, and I will share them with the band and with you, the listeners and viewers, at the end of the show. So we have something to look forward to.
Cool.
There's already a litany of there's like a novel of comments at this point, most of which are just singing your praises. There's some musician rivalry going on in the comments here. There's a young lady, it looks like a Helena. You might know. I think you might know. Says, "Hey, Dad, get it, Queen."
Yes.
Among other things.
There she is.
She says, let's see. She says, "One I invented in a dream." She says, "AA."
Nice.
And then we have lots in there.
Shout out to Helena, my daughter.
Yeah, when is she going to be on the show? We'll have to get her recording some music.
We need to. Yeah. We'll get on that.
Let's make it happen. Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll keep the chatter short for this break between songs here. What's the next one you guys want to do?
We're going to do. This is called Pharaohs and Kings. It's actually a song that was originally done by
Imhotep.
What's that?
Imhotep.
Oh, no. Me and
Danny.
Danny.
Egypt joke. Sorry.
Danny and me and our keyboardist Ed, who unfortunately couldn't make it to this today. It's his birthday. Shout out, happy birthday, Ed.
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday, Ed.
But he'll, yeah, I'm sure. He'll be at the show with us tomorrow. But anyway, the band that we were in prior to this was called the Chase Theory, and we had a song called Pharaohs and Kings. Anyway, we kind of recently, over the last, this past year, re-recorded it as Have Gun Will Travel and put it out as another kind of random single. We've kind of been doing that here lately.
20 years after it was original.
Yeah. So anyway, this is called Pharaohs and Kings.
We awake in a strange state.
Getting moody on that SG. I like it. Have Gun Will Travel here on Live Music Showcase. Ooh, man, I like that song a lot.
Thanks, buddy.
Ooh, we like chills and stuff. That's very,
nice.
very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah. All right. I'm not going to get in the way. I want to hear the next one. I want to keep it going.
All right. So we're going to do. So the single that's actually coming out that we're doing the video premiere party for tomorrow at Crowbar in Ybor City. The song itself is the first single from the forthcoming EP, which is a follow-up to the last EP. This one's going to be called Voyage Golden EP, and it's kind of loosely based around and themed around the kind of NASA Voyager program.
All right.
And so there's some kind of space themes and stuff on the song. We're gonna have a good time tomorrow night. We're gonna show the video, and this is the song that is that single. It's called Gravity Blues. Breaking like a wave, crashing down on the beach. I can feel the wave pushing down on me. Fly me into space, I got nothing to lose. Think I got a case of the gravity blues. Shaking like a leaf falling out of a tree. I can feel the earth
Will Travel here on Live Music Showcase. The Gravity Blues. It's always getting me down.
I know, right? That's what I'm saying.
Just can't fly away. Nope, can't do it. You know, it's funny. Couple of things. One, that was a great song. I'm dying to hear the new EP.
Oh, thanks.
It's going to be great. I'm sure it's going to be great. I'm sure it already is great. You know, time is relative.
Yeah. It probably was great. You know?
It probably was great. So how interested in space are you? Coming from, you know, thinking back on like Science in an Easy Chair as a concept album, for example, which is very, very, very much grounded both in the past and on the terrestrial.
And on planet Earth.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Mark says, I need the space, man.
I mean, it's, you know, it's since like being a kid in the 80s, like everybody was into it back then. You know what I mean? Like, moved from movies like Space Camp and stuff like that. I mean, we were all kind of like enamored with it. And as a kid, I grew up really stoked about it. And, you know, a couple years ago, kind of had the idea to kind of like really dig into kind of the Voyager program and just how cool that was. And like Carl Sagan and everybody kind of like, you know, putting together like the gold record that went out for the Voyager, and just how kind of like fascinating that is, and what a kind of like optimistic move that is to make. You know what I mean?
Tell people about the gold record for those who don't know what that is.
So, yeah, the Voyager probe first launched in, I think, 77. And on it, they decided they were going to, they wanted to, this was, initially the Voyager was supposed to go, the main function was to go through our solar system and get a closer look at each of the planets. And then once it got beyond that, it would just kind of move into interstellar space and be gone.
Which it recently achieved a few years ago.
Yeah. I mean, it's been in interstellar space for a while now, and it's like 15 billion miles away. And it's like, the idea was, beyond that, why don't we kind of like try to capture the sounds of planet Earth, and if anything ever, if this meets any other civilization at any point, you know, in the future, hundreds, thousands, millions of years from now, there's a record on here and kind of like a illustration for how to play this phonograph record. And it's, you know, it's sounds from people laughing to different greetings in different languages, to, you know, music, to, you know, just anything that they could kind of like, I think they had roughly about 2 hours to fill, you know, of time that they could use that to try to encapsulate what planet Earth and humanity kind of sounded like. And so it's just such a fascinating, you know, idea, and such a, you know, it's kind of inspiring to kind of just think about it, you know.
Is Have Gun Will Travel's...
Yeah, there were images as well.
There were images as well?
Yeah.
I wonder if Have Gun Will Travel's next record is going to be shot into space in some way, shape, or form.
I mean, if I got anything to do with it.
Yeah, we need to get in touch with some rocket scientists.
Yeah.
Snap. You got to talk with those people. Send this music into space.
Yeah. So this new EP that's coming out is kind of like a tribute to the original Voyager Golden record.
I love it. I love it. If you're just joining us, this is Live Music Showcase. We're here in studio with Have Gun Will Travel. This show is live every Friday at 2:06 p.m. here on WMNF 88.5 FM on WMNF.org, and online on Facebook and YouTube, live streaming. On Facebook, it's WMNF's Live Music Showcase, and on YouTube, it's WMNF Community Radio. If you're just joining us and you're like, man, I wish I'd heard this from the beginning, you can hear this episode and all of our other episodes on Spotify or Apple Music, or on WMNF.org. On Spotify and Apple Music, just go to Live Music Showcase, and you will find this episode when it drops as soon as we finish the live broadcast.
Cool.
So it's immortalized forever.
Awesome.
So to speak.
Or like a golden record floating in space.
Correct. Exactly. A golden Spotify and Apple Music. And,
Nice.
Yeah, they must love that. All right. We're continuing to get a stream of comments in the live stream. I believe we have some AMA questions for sure. If you're watching the live stream right now and you want to ask a question, just leave it in the comments. We'll keep it real simple for all of our wonderful live stream viewers. So what's the next song you guys? Oh my God, we have a ton of AMA questions.
Cool.
So we'll get to those after this song, I think. What's the next one called?
We're going to do one more off of this kind of forthcoming EP along the in the same theme of the space thing. So this one's called Mission to Nowhere.
Have Gun Will Travel here on Live Music Showcase, crushing it with the dual lead guitars. Oh my God.
Hacking it.
Oh man, I just wasn't expecting it, you guys. You can't sneak up on me with the dual lead guitar solo.
You gotta sneak up. You can't announce it ahead of time.
Oh my God, the comments are live with it as well. Even Christopher James, who has been watching, I guess, this whole episode, he all caps, dual leads, shut up. Which I agree. It's great. In a loving, obviously, endearing way. Shut up. All right, so we only have a few minutes left in the show. We're going to get to as many of these AMAs as I can. Yes. We won't be able to get to all of them before the terrestrial, broadcast ends. But there is luck for those of you who are listening on 88.5 FM and WMNF.org. You can jump over to the live stream, which will which does always continue a little bit past. The radio broadcast will cut off the last song just because we got a schedule to stick to on live radio. That's how it works. But you can join the live stream, which is on our schedule. We do whatever we want on the live stream. WMNF's Live Music Showcase on Facebook and WMNF Community Radio on YouTube. The first one is from Christopher James. He actually called in. He said he wants to know, in the movie Jason versus Freddy, who would win between Jason and Freddy?
Danny should take this one.
This is it. I believe this is for Danny.
Danny's a pro. Mm-hmm. Next person.
Well, I always felt Jason has this edge here because
He does a bowl of soup and a scarf, folks.
Well, he doesn't sleep. So how does Freddie really get to him?
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
He's just kind
powerless.
of a guy who just walks around destroying things.
He doesn't seem super intelligent to have, much of a dreamscape.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I always felt Jason has the edge.
It's a good point.
Personally.
It's the juggernaut monster versus the whatever Freddy is.
The dream meister.
Yeah.
There's a new Have Gun Will Travel song for you.
Because Danny and I were literally having this conversation like in the last week.
Yeah, a couple days ago.
I love it. Okay, next one. These are a couple of comments. Don't take these the wrong way. You've probably heard it a million times. A caller thought he was listening to Tom Petty. That's one of them.
I'll take it.
Another caller, this is a little disjointed, so stick with me. Another caller thought he was listening to Tom Petty as well. And on the song, he thought he sounded like that guy in the Traveling Wilburys, Bob something. We know who that Bob is, I believe.
That Bob guy.
Yeah, that Bob guy. And then finally, this one's to bring it home. Love the band. Saw you years ago at some small community festival and immediately bought everything you had available.
Nice.
My question is, what are the names of your instruments? Thank you, Audie in Tarpon Springs.
Oh, like personal names we've given to
instruments?
We haven't introduced the bands.
You're right, we didn't. That's true. Well, we have Scott, we have Matt Burke, we have Danny Burke.
Hello.
And then we have Sam over there on the drums.
Farmer on the drums.
I know these guys. I'll introduce them for It doesn't always work out that way. But no, let's hear the instrument names. Do you ever name the instruments or?
Some of them grab names.
Yes, some of them do. I've got one at home that has one. Mm-hmm. It's a really old Harmony Rocket from like the 60s. And the name is Frederick for whatever reason. I have no idea why it was Frederick, but I got it when I was 15 years old, and that's what I decided to call the guitar.
It's not Frodrick.
It's not Frodrick. That would probably be a little cooler.
All right. And then finally, it looks like Helena has a question for Matt Burke. It's deeply insightful.
Okay.
So what's your favorite color?
Oh, I mean...
You sound so disappointed.
Well, no, I'm not disappointed. It's just a tricky one because it kind of like shifts and changes and stuff like that. And she asked me the same kinds of questions. What's your favorite this? What's your favorite that? Who's your favorite song by so-and-so? Or what's your, and it just kind of like, it changes. So you know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of hard. I would say, I'd probably have to go with, blue, because we're getting into the kind of like NASA flight suit phase of our career.
I love it. I love that. That's a great answer. That's very good. And then finally, Helena has one more for Daniel Burke. She says, what's your favorite bone in the human body?
The funny bone, obviously.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. That's it. Good night, everybody. No. All right. So do you guys want to take us out with one more song?
Yeah, we'll go out on Resist the Machines.
I love it. All right. Oh, before you go, and we do have to give credit where credit is due. We're moving right along here, aren't we? Sound mixer Mark Perfetti, audio assistant Pam Robinson, video director Ed Lehman.
Ed Lehman, thank you.
Ed Lehman, yep. Camera operators Lisa Reuter, Charles Holsopple, and Larry Lockdown. If you know Larry, he's a great guy. Board ops Charlie Cushing, and I'm your host Ken Apperson. We are Live Music Showcase here every Friday, 2:06 p.m. after the news headlines. Join us again next week and every week for great music, just like Have Gun Will Travel. What's the last song going to be?
This one's called Resist the Machines. It's on our last EP. Here we go.
Love this.
Wanna share